Do I look like a glazed donut, or is it just me overthinking? This is such a bomb brand of coconut water. It just tastes so refreshing, you know? Bomb. Okay, girls, ladies and gents, hey, what's up, beautiful people? My name is Janelle. Welcome back to my channel if you're a returning subscriber, and if you're new here, welcome to my YouTube universe. I'm so happy to have you here today. This video, honestly, it really has no plot. I just felt the need to take out my camera and record and just rant about my current outlook on my life and just the world around me right now. And then fingers crossed that it's something that's gonna be worth me posting. But I just feel like I have a lot on my mind that I wanna just, you know, vent. And I feel like maybe other people are feeling the same way or can resonate with some of the things I'm dealing with and feeling. So why not put it out there? So that's what I'm doing. And plus, I kind of want to start really honing in on creating other video content that's not just flight attendant stuff. Like, I have dibbled and dabbled into a few other videos that's not related to flight attendant lifestyle, but I just know holistically my long-term goal is to be more of a well-rounded channel that just doesn't focus on me being on my layovers. Because now it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, yeah, I'm even tired of kind of recording them. Not that I'm gonna stop, but I just want, you know, to spice it up. So yeah, let's talk about life. It really dawned on me earlier this morning that we're halfway through, a little bit more than halfway through 2022. Crazy. I just feel like the last few years has been a whirlwind for most of us, and it just seems like this year honestly was another rough one. We're not even all the way through the year yet, but it's been a lot. It's been very tough globally, tough for me personally. Of course, you know, I've had a lot of positive and wonderful moments that has happened during the last 6 months. Like, it hasn't been, you know, total shit, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a point where I need some clarity on the next few months, next few steps of my life, just in general. I definitely have some goals that I want to cross off my list that I'm working towards, and just kind of feeling like, up until recently, I've been in a rut, but this week I actually did a detox. So y'all will probably see a video in the upcoming weeks or so once I finish creating the content and editing and whatnot. But I am doing a juice cleanse. So it's a cleanse with juices, smoothies, waters, and just eating salad pretty much. So I plan on doing that for 5 days. I'm currently on day number 3 at the time of recording this video. And I'm already feeling just a boost of energy, rejuvenation, physically, mentally. And I feel like it's really good to like have a little restart, you know, even if you do it a couple times throughout the year. It's really good for your body and just your overall well-being to do a detox. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm actually looking forward to putting out that video because I feel like I really enjoy making juices and smoothies, and it's a nice little hobby for me, just creating things in general. So I hope that's received well once I put that out there, and definitely interact with that video if you're interested, to let me know if that's something else you guys want to see in the future. But yeah, where was I going with this? Yes, I'm doing a detox right now, cleansing myself, cleansing my aura, just things around me. I'm also in the process of moving out of my apartment. It's just crazy how fast time is flying. So my apartment is still a mess right now, but I would say I'm about 70% done packing up my place. And it's just getting kind of surreal that I'm wrapping up my time here in Houston. For those of you who've been following my channel for some time know that I'm a flight attendant and I'm based in Cleveland, but prior to getting my base assignment, I was living in Houston. My lease is coming to an end. It's been pretty much impossible to be a commuter, so I've been primarily staying in Cleveland since I started this job, and now that my lease is ending, it doesn't make sense to renew or get another apartment in Houston. So I had to make the decision to basically put all my things in storage and live primarily in Houston. See, I'm still saying I live in Houston. It just still haven't fully sunk into me. I will be primarily living in Cleveland, and I am almost at the end of my probation term with my company. And so after the 6-month mark, which will be October 11th for me, I will be eligible to put in a transfer request to another base. So I'm gonna do that because I do not want to stay in Cleveland. Don't get me wrong, the base is cool. I love the people there. Just Cleveland is not a place that I see myself living long term. So I know that there's gonna be some more changes coming in the near future for me once I get my transfer approved. And I could request to move back to Houston, because Houston is one of the bases for the company I work with, but the transfer list is so long for that, where I want to transfer as soon as I possibly can. So I'm gonna be interested in transferring to another base where the list is not as long and I have a higher chance of getting out of Cleveland faster. So y'all will see where I end up going. I know in one of my last videos I was saying how I was ready to move back to California, but for those who know me know I changed my mind like so much. It's actually really bad. But there's another city/state that has my interest right now that I feel like I will choose to move to before I actually go back to California. So I can't believe I'm even saying that, but I'm really excited about it. So I hope my transfer gets approved there, and then you guys will see where I end up next. I'm going through a lot of cleansing and just transitions right now. So I feel like once I'm done move all my things into storage and move myself physically to Cleveland, I'll have a lot more time to just devote into things that I really want to devote my time and energy to, because I feel like right now my life has honestly been very scattered. You know, basically been living in 2 places, flying a lot, don't really have a lot of downtime to do some personal things. I've been missing a lot of things with my friends, because the job I have, you know, being a flight attendant, you can never really fully have control of your schedule. There's things, events that you're gonna miss out on, and you know, it does kind of suck. Not kinda, it does suck. And y'all, on top of that, I'm turning 28 this month on the 30th, and I didn't even get my birthday off from my job, and I was honestly a little sad about it. But we do get time and a half for working on your birthday, which is nice. So I'm having my fingers crossed, they're crossed, that I will be able to get a schedule next month in August that has the first week with multiple days off back to back, so I can try and take a trip somewhere and treat myself and celebrate my birthday. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, if all goes well, I'll be able to plan something nice for myself, and I really could use a little getaway. And you know, when you're flying as a flight attendant, yes, you do travel, but a lot of times we're tired and we're not really doing that much on our layovers as much as people would think. So it's more just of me, at least in my experience, I sleep, eat, and chill out in my hotel room. I'm not really doing that much activities, and I want to just be able to fully enjoy a vacation for multiple days without having to work, you know? So that's something I'm looking forward to. So yeah, about to be 28. I know that's not old, but like in my mind 28 is basically 30. And I just can't believe just how fast time is flying. Like when I was like 15, 16, I was so pressed to be 21, and now that I'm 27, I'm like, dang, can I be 16, 21 again, please? And people have really mistaken me for like younger than what I am. People think I'm like 21, 23 max, and I'm like, okay, I'll take that, because when, you know, I hit 40, I'll still be looking pretty young. So, but I'm like, dang, I'm about to be out of my 20s soon, and it's just kind of like, ugh. You know, I'm grateful for all the years that I've had experience on this earth. But to be honest and transparent with you, like at 28, I feel like I've done a lot of things, accomplished a lot of goals, but I still feel like there's this big area of fulfillment that I'm yearning to achieve for myself. And I don't even know how to really put it into words or what exactly it is I want to do. But I think it's more of just a feeling that I want to have. Like waking up every day, and you know, granted, you're never gonna have a life where you're never going to be stressed. Like there's going to be moments where you will have stress, but I just want to be less stressed. I want to be more comfortable, more stable, more, you know, I want my coins to be up. I don't want to be stressing about finances. I want to just do what I want to do when I want to do it and not have so many restrictions in order to make it happen for myself. And so I think I've always been a non-complacent person. Like once I have a goal, I usually, you know, meet that goal and then I'm on to something else. But I feel like I'm constantly chasing after things where I'm like, okay, Janelle, you just need to be in a point where you just take things day by day and just live life in the moment, you know, not of course just going crazy and doing whatever whenever, but just more so being in the moment and taking in the pleasures and the simplicities of life and allowing my journey to just evolve through that process. And I can say one major thing I'm grateful for with the job I have now is that I do have flexibility and more free time to kind of tap into my hobbies, which is amazing. And I feel like that's kind of been, you know, a segue into me starting YouTube, doing that, and also just tapping into other interests of mine. Like I'm really interested in herbalism, so I really want to possibly start a little side hustle with that and just gain more knowledge about herbs and their benefits, and really sharing that with other people, because I really am a huge lover of healing and just the natural gifts that are here on earth that God created that we can utilize to better ourselves. And so I'm really interested in that, so I'm looking forward to tapping into that more. And I really love just creating in general, so I feel like there's so many ideas brewing in my mind where I'm like, okay, where do I start, where do I begin? And I know that there's other people that probably feel that way too, but the other thing about that is I find that I have so many ideas. I start something and I just give up because it doesn't really get the feedback, or it just doesn't get rolling as fast as I would ideally like it to, and then I just stop cold turkey and then I pick up something else and then the same thing happens, and it's just a chain reaction roller coaster ride with me starting things. And that's not a good mindset to have, because you know nothing is gonna happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. I have to give things time. And to be honest, you know, even with YouTube, like I'll post a video and I'm like, ooh, this is fire, I'm about to get, you know, a lot of views, comments, everything. I'm about to get like 50,000 subscribers off of this video, and it's a flop. And so I'm really trying my best not to get discouraged and keep on, you know, creating content and not letting those small mishaps kind of deter me away from my end goal. Because at the end of the day, I said that I started this channel to connect with people, to inspire people, and just spread positivity and knowledge and just encouragement. And so I feel like every video that I put out, in some way, shape, or form, it does those things. So even if it's only 5 views, not that any of my videos only have 5 views, they at least get 100 or more. So, you know, I'm grateful for those people like that are watching those videos, and you right now that's looking at this. It's very, very dope to know that people find me entertaining and that people are coming to my channel to, you know, experience all those things that I listed. And so I think that's really dope. And in the moments where I'm feeling frustrated, I gotta think about the positive aspects of things, and I encourage you to do the same. You know, if you are currently working on something and you're not really seeing the results that you would like to in the time frame that you would like to, if it's something that you're very passionate about, don't give up and stay the course, and remind yourself why you started in the beginning, and even in the days where you feel like giving up, because you're doing it for a reason. And whether it's helping someone or going after a goal that you've always wanted to accomplish in your life, you're doing it for a reason, so don't stop. So I'm saying this also for myself. So yeah, that's my life right now. You know, it's going through a lot of changes, and I'm excited, but I'm also just kind of like, ooh, is this what I thought my life would be at 28? Absolutely not. Like, I thought I was gonna be working in corporate America with a big office somewhere, making 6 figures or more. You know, that's still on the way though, because I'm very confident that I'm a 6-figure chick, okay, period. But right now in this moment I'm not, to be honest with you. And so yeah, I really thought that certain things I would have by 28, but I also gotta say that like I've done a lot of things that 28-year-olds haven't. Like I've lived in 6 states, I've gone to undergrad, I went to grad school, I've been able to travel to a lot of awesome places. I've had a lot of jobs. For those of you who haven't watched my previous videos, a little background on my education. I have an undergrad degree in criminal justice and a master's in social work. So I've done some pretty cool social work jobs. I just transitioned out of that career because it just was nothing I could see myself doing long term. But I've met a lot of dope people through the experiences that I've had. And so I would say as a word of encouragement that, you know, if you've done certain things that you're currently no longer doing and you thought that that's what you'd be doing for like the rest of your life or a big chunk of your life, don't beat yourself up about it, because I feel like at the end of the day, it gets you to where you need to be. And then you also got to think about all the positive memories and like people that you met along the way. And I am so grateful for all that I've gained during that time where I was doing things that I'm no longer doing now, because I feel like everything happens for a reason, for the most part. And it shapes you into the person that you are, or shapes you into the person that you want to be. So I'm grateful for that, because I met my best friend in grad school. The jobs that I was working in social work, I knew that lifestyle wasn't for me, and now I'm trying to create the lifestyle that I want to have. And so I feel like through those experiences, you learn more and more about yourself. So don't beat yourself up if you're currently in a space where you are going through a lot of changes in your life and you don't really know how to navigate your next steps. But if you just go with your heart and be smart about certain decisions, you will be fine. And speaking of transitions, I want to say, with starting this new job, when did I start? I started training in February, and then I graduated flight attendant training in April. And before that, before I even started flight attendant training, I was without a job for like 2 or 3 months. I had quit my social work job and didn't have anything else lined up, and I was just praying. Like at that time, of course, I was like filling out applications to different jobs, other social work jobs, and then I applied to a few companies to be a flight attendant, because I just knew that I wanted a change. I didn't want to do social work anymore, but I just applied to other social work jobs just in case, you know, I wasn't able to change trajectories and that I would have something else to fall back on. But I kind of stated in one of my older videos, I think it was a get to know me tag, where I was talking about how unhappy I was with previous jobs that I've had and just not really knowing for sure exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to do the jobs that I was doing. And so I feel like that's something that a lot of people can resonate with, like just being tied to certain things that we feel like we can't let go of, especially as it pertains to jobs and whatever career field you may be in, especially if you've attained a degree in a certain field and you feel like you have to do whatever job that aligns with the degree that you have, or say that you're working in a certain career field where you've put in ample amount of years of experience and you kind of want to try something else, but this is all you know. So starting somewhere fresh can be challenging, especially even if you do want to take a leap of faith and start something totally different, but you don't have the experience or the background degree-wise to kind of push you into that segue. It can be challenging. Not everyone can just, you know, start a career that's totally different than what they're used to just like that, unless you know someone or it's a position where you can work your way up. But for most people, it's kind of hard to just switch gears like that. And so a lot of people like myself feel or have felt stuck in a place that you just felt like there was no escape. So in my personal situation, I probably had 4 or 5 jobs in my career field, and then I made a decision that once I was applying to different jobs outside of social work, that I knew in my mind I didn't want to go back, And I always had an interest of being a flight attendant because I just love to travel. I love meeting people from various parts of the world, and I just wanted the opportunity to explore more about myself. And so now that I'm in this position and I got the job, I am making sure that I'm doing just that, as far as finding out more about myself and what it is that I want to do. And I think a lot of people are scared to take that leap of faith. And don't get me wrong, I'm still scared as it is right now, because it's like I pretty much said, hey, I don't want to do what I thought I wanted to do. I have this degree, these degrees, I have lots of student loan debt, and I am doing something that has absolutely nothing to do with what I went to school for. And a lot of people frown upon that. So I had a lot of ups and downs financially, on top of me just trying to figure out what I wanted to do work-wise. And so when I decided to go ahead and be a flight attendant, I was like, okay, once I get into this role, I have to really go into taking charge of my life and my goals with full force, because now I have the time to do it. Now I have a job that I actually enjoy. I say all that to say is that sometimes, you know, it can be really hard to venture off from the norm, but sometimes you gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that you never know what you'll be able to tap into or unleash if you don't take the necessary big risk of being uncomfortable to get to that point where you're able to elevate yourself onto the next level of life, and just opportunities and blessings and growth and just more happiness and joy. Like, I feel like I was so miserable at some of my jobs, and I couldn't even imagine like going another year, 5 years, 10 years, 50 plus years, hell, even another week doing the job that I had before I was a flight attendant. And I'm just like thinking of how many people go throughout life doing a job or just doing things in general that don't bring them joy and fulfillment. And I just knew that I couldn't do that for myself. I wasn't having it. Life is meant to be lived, and life is meant to bring you joy and happiness and peace and laughter and love and light and just positive feelings and vibes. Granted, it's not gonna be like that every day, but for the most part, you know, you want to feel that way about what you're doing on a consistent basis. I'm learning to have more consistently for myself. And I think also, like, I have all these ideas in my head of things that I would like to do, but do I have a concrete plan? No. I'm gonna be developing one in the upcoming months, but also with that, I'm also telling myself that it's okay to go with the flow sometimes and just let things come to me and flow naturally, because I have always been the type of person, prior to, I would say, the last year, have always been a planner. I had to have everything mapped out. Things had to go this way, and if it didn't go that way, I was over it. But now I'm letting things flow more organically, and I learned my lesson, because once you try to have control over every little thing, you know, it starts happening, things don't go your way. And I really felt like that was the universe and God trying to tell me, like, chill out, Janelle. I'm in control. I need you to focus on this and not you looking at over here, because it's getting you off track. And lo and behold, I got off track, and I started having a lot of unfortunate events happen back to back, things that I never thought I would see the light of day through. But here I am. And I'm so grateful, you know, for those hard times. I'm grateful for the moments where I was really pushed to my limits, because I feel like it put me in the space that I'm in now to tell that story and to like motivate me moving forward. That like, man, a lot of stuff that I thought I would never get through, I got through it, and I'm still standing. And man, my skin now is tough. Like, life is not, you know, what I really, really want it to be right now, but it's everything I need in this moment, because I'm living. I have air flowing through my lungs. I have a place to live. I have food in my fridge. I have the necessities, you know. There's a lot of things, you know. I would love some new pieces in my wardrobe. I would love some new wigs, some fancy shoes and bags, you know. I would like to have racks in my bank account. Okay, that's on the way though, for sure. So, you know, I don't have everything that I think I want, all right, but I have what I need. So I think like it's all about perspective and things that you have to tell yourself when you're going through those growing pains, the things that sometimes go neglected or we forget about. Just take time to really remind yourself of what you have, that a lot of people would, man, kill to have. Another thing that I wanted to share, the other day somebody had asked me, if you were able to talk to your younger self, what would you tell her? And I was like, wow, that's such a good question. And the first thing that came to my mind was I would tell her to not be so hard on herself. And then they were like, okay, what would you tell your future self? And I was like, dang, probably the same thing, because it's literally been a life struggle of mine to not be so hard on myself. Like, I am literally my worst critic. I think I have a hard time of smelling the roses and congratulating myself on, goals that I meet or little small wins that I have. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, on to the next thing. But no, that's not a healthy way to have an outlook on meeting certain goals. And I think it's also good to celebrate the positive things that you have done and accomplished. Granted, when I do certain things, I'm like, okay, yeah, good job, Janelle. But then I'm like, okay, well, that was short-lived, and constantly feeling like I'm chasing after something and I don't really know what that something is. And then I really have been noticing more and more that what I'm chasing after is not a tangible thing. I think it's more internal, and just having what I want for myself is just more of a consistent feeling of joy and being fulfilled and content. Content, not in a negative way, like we don't want to get complacent with growth, but I think content and being at peace with how I view myself, being content and at peace with the expectations I have for myself and for others, and not getting overly consumed with always having something to do, always having something to strive after, always having something to prove, always having to be a people pleaser to a certain extent. Like, I feel like I'm always thinking I have to do and be something. And I just want to not think like that. Like, I feel like for the longest period of time, my brain is constantly going nonstop. I'm always thinking about something, overthinking to the point where it stresses me out. I get really bad anxiety. It's not as bad now. Definitely not as bad now. I feel like I've definitely have worked on it, but in the past, it was really severe to where there was nights I couldn't sleep because I'm worried about something and thinking so much, and just letting things out of my control consume me to the point where it really handicapped me in a lot of ways. And so it's not at its heightened level that it was in the past, but I definitely realized that I still have some room to grow with that. And so I'm just imagining how I would feel if I just was more carefree and just really having more good days than bad days, and really embodying all the things that I preach to other people, and embodying the things on a more consistent basis. But you really got to feel it to be it, So like, I'll wake up some days and I'm like, all right, I want this to be a good day. But am I implementing things by actions that are putting me on a path to have a good day? Probably not, because I'm waking up saying I want to have a good day, but then I'm scrolling on my phone, rereading a message with somebody that I was arguing with last night, or telling myself I'm gonna eat a certain meal that I have already in my refrigerator, but I go get a ready-made meal from somewhere else because I don't want to cook. Like, it's literally things like that when you really look at it and you take a step back, you're like, dang, why did I have a bad day? And a lot of times it's those little things that build up, and it's those things that we probably had planned but we didn't follow through with, and things that we kind of get in our own way and impact the outcome of. So really, mind over matter is a big thing too. That's what I really want to work on. It's just finding content, stability, and just more continuous joy. I am confident that that is on the horizon for me, especially since I'm transitioning into so many new things that I'm very excited about. And I feel like I am embarking on a new evolution of myself as far as really going after the internal things that I want for myself. So yeah, I'm excited. And I'm definitely excited to bring y'all along with me as I navigate through all these things. I'm trying to think like what else has been going on with me. That's really it. I just been consumed with working, moving. I feel like now I'm definitely more comfortable in the role of my job, and I've really been enjoying it. Like, don't get me wrong, I do love being a flight attendant. I'm not sure, you know, how long I will be doing it for. Like, I've met so many people within my company that's like, yeah, when I first started, I was only gonna do this for 2 or 3 years, and I've been here for like 30. So not to say that like that won't be me, but I'm hoping it won't be me, because I want to be doing like other things. Like, I don't know, I just see myself being and doing something bigger than me, like just developing something where I'm touching and helping multiple people on a large scale. And so whether that's me starting some business or some sort, or yeah, I really feel like that would probably be me starting a business some way, some form. But I can say that this job is allowing me time to really figure out what it is I want to do long term, and the time to invest into developing something. So I'm excited to see what I come up with and how I'm gonna touch the world. So yeah, I think that's like really the biggest focus that I have right now, is just fine-tuning ideas that are brewing in my head, and then actually taking the time to invest in creating those things and putting it out there and not giving up. And YouTube is one of those things. But I also would like to know what content you guys would like to see from me. Like, I really don't know what else to put on my channel. Like, I'm really interested in just lifestyle stuff in general. I love to travel. I love health related things such as wellness. I like to work out, so maybe, I don't know, y'all want to see some workout videos, get ready with me videos. I did my own hair. Okay, I made this wig. I colored it myself and everything. I'm actually pretty talented, okay? Not to toot my own horn. So yeah, like if y'all want to see that, let me know. Although like I do know how to do hair, but do I like to do it? Not necessarily. So I can't really see myself like wanting to record doing hair. But if that's what y'all want to see, I'll do it, and who knows, it may not be that bad. But if that's something y'all want to see, I could do that. But yeah, let me know. I'm open to feedback. I want to connect with you guys more, and I'm open to suggestions, and I'm willing to try different things. So let me know. Like, this is a family here. We're a community. I want to talk to you guys more, and I'm pretty open to like communicating with you guys. You will always find me responding to comments. Hit me up on Instagram. Let me plug my Instagram, y'all. Follow me on Instagram, because I'm very active on there. I post stuff on my stories. Like, if you want to see more of a day-to-day insight, get to know me a little bit more, I highly suggest that you follow me on Instagram. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, follow me on Instagram. So just thank you for rocking with me this far. If you've already been subscribing, and if this is your first video that you've watched of mine, subscribe. Okay, help your girl out. Okay, I need you. I really do, because you know, your views, subscribership, is that a word? Subscribership? Your views and your subscription really helps me out as a creator, because it lets me know that you are engaged with my content, and then it also lets me know what other content you want to see more of. So we're not saying, you know, like and comment and subscribe for nothing. Like, it really, really does help us out, and it helps me grow, and it helps me engage with you all better. So please do that for me, okay? I'm excited to continue to make stuff for you guys. I'm excited for us to grow and get to know each other more, because I feel like it's a lot of great things that's gonna come about in this next chapter that I'm entering in. You know, I've started a new job. I've gotten more confident with putting myself out there as far as exploring my talents and creative gifts, and just really believing what God has in store for my life. And I know that He has nothing but great things in store for me, and He has nothing but great things in store for you too, as long as you believe it and stick by His side and follow His steps and guidance. Your life will be fruitful as well. I'm really, really big on positive energies and manifesting things and claiming things, and I really want other people to have that mentality as well. Like, you really can create the life that you envision for yourself, and you know, it may not happen overnight. Like, I know that the path I'm on has had a lot of ups and downs, but I know that it's getting me tougher and more prepared for when my life starts bearing all the fruit that I'm gonna have, that I'll be able to hold it and enjoy it and not, you know, let it overcome me. And so I just really want to encourage anyone right now that's maybe watching this video, who may be doubtful, or who may be frustrated, or if you may be tired or just uncertain about a lot of things in your life. I want to let you know that you can overcome those negative or questionable feelings, and it's completely natural and normal to have that thought process and to feel those emotions, because we're human. Life is not always peaches and cream. Sometimes we get let down, sometimes things don't go the way that we planned, but God's plan is bigger than the plan that we have created for ourselves. And God's plan is so much bigger and better than what we can even fathom for ourselves. Like, I know a lot of times people have like, yeah, I plan to do this, I've done it, but man, I didn't even think it was going to be as big as it is. And that's because sometimes our blessings, man, we be thinking that we want this big of a blessing, and then God has something that's that big for us, or even bigger. So don't sell yourself short, and just be open-minded to trusting God's path for you. So yeah, I just want to give some encouragement, some enlightenment, because a lot of times, you know, we need to hear things like that. And if you don't have, you know, someone available to talk to, or someone to pour those things into you, I'm that person, okay? God is telling me, God told me, put that on my heart, put that on my tongue to put out in this video to give you. And I just, you know, one of the biggest things that I know my purpose here on earth is to just be a person of light and love, sharing encouraging words. I really want people to be their best versions of themselves, and I feel like that's what this channel is for, you know. I'm about to get emotional. I'm just kidding. But no, for real, like, I really created this channel because I wanted to encourage and just make you smile, okay? Make you feel like you can do anything you put your mind to. Sending you lots of love and light as always. I am praying for any of you watching this video that needs prayer. If you ever need like a direct prayer like request, or something specific you would like for me to pray about, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. I love praying for people and being intentional about my prayers. So any of you that are watching this video who may be dealing with something heavy, you're gonna be my thoughts, you're gonna be my prayers, and I'm sending you love, and lots of lights and good energy. I hope that somebody likes this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you a ton, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day and week or weekend whenever you're watching this video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Love and light as always.